Well, happy Friday. So glad to have Madison Winkler and Erica Sanchez with us this morning from Real Brokerage of Imperial County, California. Thank you for joining this morning.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. And the purpose of this podcast is to draw out the mindset of a champion, what sets you apart in your various fields. And in this case, it's real estate. And we're going to get to know each of you a little bit better so that when we send referrals, people will also already have an idea of who they get to work with. So let's get started. Just a basic question. When did you start in real estate, and how did you get that start?
I started when a little started, I could say, August 2021. Right through, the pandemic, and my story is it's funny because I'm a third generation realtor. But real estate was never in my plans of life. It's funny how that works, right? And so through COVID, I had two kids, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do something where, I can give it my all, and however much I put in is what I'm going to receive. And I thought, I don't want necessarily for me a job where I have to miss things with my kids. My kids are involved in sports, I want to go to their school events. My kids are little, so that was my thinking. And you always kind of start out, oh, maybe I'll just do a little bit here and a little bit there, and then you dive in, head first. So it took me about 6 months to even get a test date because they were not doing testing. The second they were on the website, everybody would rush in, and 2 seconds later all the spots were gone. So I was doing the at home learning with my kids, because they couldn't go to school, and they're doing their schoolwork, and I'm right there studying for my test. So we were all doing school together.
Studying together.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So 2021, and you were destined. You were destined to be in the real estate business for your family and all of that.
It's in my vein. I tell people it's in my blood. I can't help it. It's in my blood.
That's fantastic. How about you, Erica?
Well, I was kind of thrown into the real estate market as well. Straight out of high school, I was a teen mother. I started off and I had my little studio apartment, and the manager, for whatever reason, just took a liking to me, and she says, would you like to be my assistant manager? And I'm like, sure. No clue what that meant. I think it was 160 units at the time. And so I learned a lot. And from there, I gained the experience to become my own. I was the property manager. And for whatever reason, the owner of the property management company took a liking to me. And he says, I really like you. I love what you do with my property. And I mean, we had no vacancies. So he says, you have time on your hands now. Why don't you get your real estate license? And he kind of told me his story. Mr. John Whalen, rest in peace, great guy, told me about real estate. And he says, you're already in property management. Your next step is get into real estate, and you're going to make tons of money. Because I mean, if I like you, I'm sure you're going to get to meet people, and it's going to be a great, rewarding, career for you. And I said, well, he must not want me to work for him anymore, But actually, now that I think back, he just saw something, and he thought, you know what, she's going to do really good in real estate. And bless his heart, because real estate has really helped me and my kids. I mean, it's just given me the flexibility. It's just such a wonderful, rewarding career. And so I started back in 2005.
Wow, that's amazing. It sounds like both of you have a story where there was destiny involved, because you, Erica, you met the right people. You had no
Yes,
idea where that journey was going, right?
yes, I did. I just needed work. I needed work straight out of high school. So it was a blessing.
That's amazing. And you, Madison, with coming out of COVID time, which is not the easiest time to come into business, and you've got kids here, and you're, trying to spend the appropriate amount of time with them as well, and learn yourself and get going. And so that's inspiring. It's inspiring for other women, for other moms to say, you know what, maybe I can do this. And that's encouraging.
I could do it, you could do it. That's what I always tell people. If I could do it, you could do it.
Right.
Yeah, and today we work with some fantastic women in our office, and also in our sphere of business. And I love the fact how there's just empowerment of each other. The competition and, oh no, I can't share my knowledge with you. It's just not there. It seems like people are willing to help each other. Do you find that in your business as well?
Definitely so. And I mean, I was telling Madison just the other day, like, it's not a competition against each other. It's how are you helping your clients? And is that working for you? Because I mean, the biggest thing that you can do for your client, your community, is find out what's working. Where is the market going? What's working? If it's working for you, hey, you might have to adjust something to make it work for you. But I mean, if it's working and it's helping people. That's the main goal at the end of the day for everyone, is that we help our clients. And you're going to need another agent for whatever reason. And like, me and Madison were just working on a closing together, and it's like, it's not a competition. Hey, I'll give her a suggestion. You might want to do this, or you might not want to do, and she'll give me suggestion, because you're always learning in this business. I mean, 2005, I am always learning.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you made mention of your market and all of that. Let's just talk about that for a moment. So, you service the Imperial County area, which is just below San Diego, in that area in California. But obviously, you're licensed in the whole state of California. What's your market like down there? How's the inventory?
I always kind of joke around that our county is just like always a few months behind, everybody else, San Diego, LA and stuff like that. So we are still seeing low inventory here. Homes are still selling very quickly, if of course if you price them, correctly, and you have the right marketing, and like Erica said, you make the connections with other agents, texting Erica, hey, I have this listing coming up. Do you have anyone? And, stuff like that. So our market, there's still low inventory. So homes are still selling very quickly over, majority asking price or over appraised value still. We were seeing concessions for a while, but we're not seeing that anymore.
Yeah.
I do have to say, though, since the August 17th, we did have a few more listings come up. And I'm sure that's because the sellers were like, okay, I don't have to pay a buyer's agent anymore. And so just a few more listings came on, but I think they'll be surprised to know that they may still have to end up paying a buyer's agent. And so that might slow it down just a bit. But yeah, it is
Yeah.
still low inventory.
Well, that's good insights from your market there. And I get asked this question sometimes, almost daily. Um, is now a good time to buy? Should I buy? And I know they're waiting for my answer, because they're like, well, I think the interest rates are going to go down. Maybe I should wait for that. And my response to them when they ask, when's a good time to purchase? I say, when you're financially ready. If you find that house that Madison and Erica have worked hard to find, you're already pre-approved. Now they're out shopping. It's near the school you want to be. for your kids. It's near shopping centers. It's near parks. It's near close to your work. It checks the boxes. Then now is the time to purchase. And people are like, look, what shouldn't I wait for the interest rates to go down? Maybe I get your comments on that. Should people wait to buy now? Wait for those rates to come down, or what's your take on that?
Do you want to answer that, Madison? Or do you want me to?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
What I always tell people, because of course we always have people asking us, is now the right time to buy? And yes, about rates. I always tell people it's the right time when it's your right time to buy.
There you go.
You can't predict anything. You can't predict anything. But like you said, if the house checks all your boxes and you need or want to, purchase a property, then yeah, go for it. I mean, if rates come down, you refinance later. If not, then you'll be happy that you got in when rates were low if they go up. So I think it's kind of you can't really lose. If rates go up, you're locked in at a low rate. If they come down, you refinance. So I think as long as they're ready.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, I mean, remember when rates were really low, I mean, we had tons of buyers, and then they were just offering, over appraised value and whatnot. So when the rates are a little higher, you may not have to compete as bad. So I just kind of educate them a little bit, but again, you never want to force anyone into buying anything they don't want. So yeah, you're just going to have to tell them if it's your time, then it's your time. If you absolutely love the house and the rates are high right now, they will come down. You can refinance. So yeah, just make them know, like, if it's your time, it's your time. And that way they're comfortable and it's not a forced sale or.
I really like your both of your words there, because everything you implied is what's right for them. It's not what's right for us and another sell, another transaction, whatever. No, those of us that stay in the business through pandemics and up and down hard times, this and that, we stay in because we care about people, and people realize that, and they begin to trust us because they know we're not looking for the almighty buck. We're looking out for them. So I really, really appreciate what you just said, because those words are what draw people to work with you. And that's what draws me to work with you as well, because I can see you really, really care about people. So little shifting gears, pandemic, we talked about that. We talked about, challenging financial times. Maybe even you have some friends that were severely affected by the pandemic. Some of my close friends lost their businesses. It's been crazy with the market. So I ask you, what pivots or adjustment have you made during these pandemic times and financial challenging times to stay successful in your business, whether it's marketing or whatever?
For me, I came in right, at the end of the pandemic. So, I can speak from when rates for, I would say, a financial, time was when rates, went up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
One thing that I do is, you have to just stay consistent, stay hungry. You have to constantly be thinking of new marketing ideas, constantly educating yourself on where are buyers looking for homes? What websites are they looking at? What new, events are going on in the community? So you just have to constantly educate yourself and be consistent. The second you stop being consistent, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and
awesome.
I'd have to agree with that. Just continue setting your goals and follow those goals, and then kind of re-strategize and see what financially has been working for you as marketing, and maybe cut costs, but cut costs that are not going to affect the service that you provide for your client. That's always the most important, because, you know, even if you cut the cost and it cuts the cost, or, you know, the service that you're providing for your client, you're never going to get a referral back, or, you know, and so you never want to cut the cost that's going to affect your client, but just strategize and find ways, and then get a good network of people that you're working with, lenders. Talk to your lenders. Hey, what service can we provide for our clients? What can we do to help them? Maybe if the interest rates are low, what programs are out there? I mean, you lenders, you can get very creative with loans. So that's definitely why we have to stay very close with our lenders and find out what programs we can, you know, kind of guide our clients. Like, hey, you know what, this lender's offering this, you might want to call them and see what you can get, and help you out. And yeah, just stay on top of it, and stay on top of your market, see what's happening, stay current.
Oh, that's great. That's, you know, stay hungry, stay with your goals that you mentioned, strategize. And, you know, I heard something the other day that said, you just got to get back to the basics, right?
Yeah.
And I thought about that, and it's true. There's truth to that. But then another question came into my mind is, why did I ever leave the basics? Shouldn't I be doing that every single day, no matter if there's a pandemic, there's hard times? And it made me really think, and kind of rethink. And I'm like, okay, we're about ready to come into another refi boom. Actually, we've kind of already started. We've got people in the last 18 months that are in the high sevens, maybe even in the eights right now with interest rates. We've already been refinancing those people. And I remember with the last refi boom, I was working till 1, 2 o'clock every morning trying to keep up with this stuff. But I also remember that some of my colleagues in the loan business forgot about their realtor partners during that time. They forgot about the purchase business, and they got so wrapped up in refi business that now when that slowed up, they tried to go back and talk to their realtor partners. Well, guess what? The realtor partners have moved on. They went to somebody who is going to be with them every day, day in, day out in the trenches. And so I made that commitment to myself. Thankfully, I didn't, I did both. That's why I was working till 2 o'clock in the morning. But it just reaffirmed in my mind, never leave the basics. Stay with the basics. Maybe you got to ramp up a little bit your marketing, or ramp up a little bit more, but never leave the purchase business, because that's really the core. And so as a commitment as a lender, that's something that we're committed to our whole team, is to make sure you guys come first. Everybody else, if I got to work till the wee hours of the morning to do a refinance, wonderful. But the purchase business is our focus. So I'm glad you mentioned, you know, those things as well. Let me ask you this. So we're talking about a champion mindset, and how that can, you know, we hear a lot about mindset today. There's not a podcast that we don't listen to. Someone's mentioning mindset, and, oh, you got to have this thinking or whatever. But I ask you, how does having or maybe rephrase it this way, what does having a champion mindset mean to you and to your success? The champion mindset, what's that mean to you?
Well, I would say, you know, always, 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 always remember that things can be good right now. We can be on top of the market, but tomorrow it could be a different market. And so you've got to stay on top of the market. You have to stay, like you said, consistent with our lenders, our network system. Even though it's going good right now, not forget that, you know, it could, you know, like right now we're shifting into a different market. And so, I mean, COVID was boom, boom, boom. Everyone wanted to buy and sell, and, you know, you really didn't even need skills. It was just like, I'm here, you know, if you want to buy and sell, I'm here. And so a lot of people, like you said, they forgot that we still need to go door knocking, and we still need to do the cold calls, which everybody hates, but we have to do those. And so that mindset is not forgetting that we still need to work when there's times where we feel like we don't have to work because we have enough, but you still have to stay consistent, stay goal oriented, set small goals, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. And that way, I mean, you have something to look forward to. You're reaching that goal. And so you're always at that mindset, like, hey, I've got to reach that goal. I've got to be there. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world, because, you know, we still have to live. Aside from real estate, we're living, and we're going through different situations, scenarios at home. And so that person that has that champion mindset will still power through with whatever's going on, you know, around them. So that's what I think a champion mindset is.
I agree with you. I think to piggyback off a little bit of that is focusing on what you can control. That's another thing. We get wrapped up in things that we can't control. We can't control the rates. We can't control, you know, we can't control if someone decides to buy or sell. That's not our job, is to control that. And so I think really focusing on what we can control. I can control if I do my calls. I can control if I go to this event or networking and talking with, you know, make the time for that stuff. So I think focusing on what we can control and realizing that, you know, no one's going, at the end of the day, nobody's going to make me get up and go do those calls. So having that discipline, nobody's making me, you know, go do this open house. Nobody's making me do any of this. It's me. And so we have to have the discipline and focus on what we can control. And then I feel like we also enjoy, you know, we love our jobs and, you know, it's very rewarding, but we get so much more out of it when we aren't stressed on, you know, oh my goodness, the rates, and oh my goodness, you know, the NAR settlement. It's like, what can control? That's what we should be focusing on. And you are going to see the fruit from that when you are staying consistent, like you said, with your goals. What are your weekly goals? What are your monthly goals? And if you focus on that, you're going to win. I mean, it's, you know, I tell people real estate is not, what do I say? It's not easy, but it's simple to, you know, in a sense, you know, back to the basics, focus on what you need to do. You know what you need to do. When I have, you know, realtor friends, what can I do? How do I get a listing? Tell me, give me some advice. I'm like, girl, you know what you need to do.
Answer.
The work.
Yeah. So I
Roll
think
up them sleeves.
Yes.
yeah. That's a champion mindset to me. No one's gonna do it for you. You gotta go do it.
Well, that's spoken like two champions right there. And I like the I gave a speech or lecture one time on control your controllables, and it was exactly to your point. There's all kinds of stuff going around. We can't control any of it, but we can control this person right here and our reaction to things. And one of the things that I see, because probably 80% of my day is spent in education and training and mentoring. And one of the things that comes up with mindset that can be an obstacle to think like a champion is self-limiting beliefs. I can't do this. I just, Madison and Erica are so successful, but I can never be like them. I can't do this. See, that I can't, that we can change that to I will. I will do this. I will work hard, right? And so what you say, what you just told me and those that will listen to this, that's a champion mindset. And it will lead to success. You're going to hear this in another week or so when we go to UWM, when the CEO of the company comes out on stage. One of his favorite phrases is educate or knowledge drives confidence.
Yes.
Confidence drives effort. Effort drives or leads to success. And you talk about a champion. That dude is a champion on all fronts. owner of the Phoenix Suns. He's got 3 kids. He's just, oh, he's into work every day at 4 a.m. for the rest of his 8,000 employees. You'll hear it for yourself. And I think it would just reaffirm your champion mindset that you already have. So thank you for sharing that. Well, I have one last question for you. So we've talked about all the mindset stuff here. We've talked about the market that you're in, how we need to have hard work and everything else. But there's still people out there that don't feel they can do this business. And we talked a little bit about self doubt and self-limiting beliefs. But I ask you now, what advice would you have to those that may be doubting themselves, can't do this business? What advice would you have to give to them to be successful?
I would say if you make your goals and you plan out exactly what you need to do to reach those goals, you can do it. Anybody can do it. It just comes down to, do you want it? How badly do you want it?
Really good.
The short, sweet, to the point. I'm like, do you want it or do you not?
Good food. Let's eat.
No, it is definitely how badly do you want it? If you set, I think I set a goal for myself, and again, sticking back to stick to a goal. So I had a goal that I was going to buy a property, a rental property, my first year of real estate. So that was my goal. And so I was like, man, I'm not selling anything my first year, right? I'm like, how am I going to buy a property? And so I mean, that I was so hungry, knocking on doors, making calls, and lo and behold, I was able to buy a little duplex in my first year. So I'm definitely going to say, set your goals and stick to them. Stick to them. Do do what you don't like to do. Get that out of the way. First off, you don't like making the calls, then do that first thing in the morning, because you know you're going to always find an excuse to not do it later on. So if that's what you don't like to do it first thing in the morning. And just everything all the fears that you have, know that everyone else has the same fears. Nobody likes to be rejected. Nobody likes the doors closed on them. Nobody likes to be told they're not the best agent. And just, you're going to have thick skin, let that roll off and go start a new day, and know that it's your journey, your career, your future. Doesn't matter what the next person's doing. Stick to your lane, what you're going to do, those goals, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I love it.
Your definition of success might be different than somebody else's, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Exactly. If you focus on what the other agent's making and, oh my God, they sold 2 houses, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not. But if you've already made your goal, what you set for yourself, you're winning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so well said. And I have just one little point A question to that success. Is it okay to ask for help?
Definitely.
That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. I think I mean, you learn so much from other people, and in real estate, nothing's the same. I've been in it since 2005, and I still get surprised on different transaction things that could go wrong. And I'm like, I would have never thought that could go wrong, but I guess, there's a first for everything. So yeah, and somebody else has already gone through it. Why break your head if you know somebody's already gone through that? Ask for that help, and you don't have to go through that, and you can better help your client. It's just, yeah, ask for help. Ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a sign of humility too,
Yes.
a humble person, and couple that with being hungry. A hungry, humble person can be unstoppable. And there is nothing more dangerous than an unstoppable, fierce, in a good way, person that is hungry to help other people, like both of you.
Yeah.
And it's been a joy and a pleasure to get to know both of you better. We're going to have more opportunity later as well, and we hope we have the opportunity to work together, and we'll share some more fun things that we do as as a team to help our realtor partners. But Madison and Erica, thank you so much for joining this morning, taking time out of your busy schedule. Your brokerage, real brokerage of Imperial County, they're blessed to have both of you, and so is your community. So I really appreciate you taking the time to join us and share your champion mindset.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for having us. Thank you.